A sharp, chilling laughter pierced the silence of the night. It was not the sound of happiness or mirth. It carried something warped, something deeply wrong. It was the laugh of a witch. Through the shadows of Endor, a cloaked figure moved cautiously, his steps quick, his eyes alert. He slipped through the darkness toward a hidden dwelling, a forbidden place. This man was no ordinary traveler. He was a king. He knew the law. He knew the command of his God. He knew this act was forbidden. And yet, here he was. What could drive a man to disobey the very God who once raised him up? Had fear consumed his faith? Had desperation silenced obedience? King Saul had come seeking answers. But what would emerge before him would be far more terrifying than silence. The story of the Witch of Endor is not merely about sorcery or necromancy. It is a tragic account of spiritual decay, the cost of rebellion, and the danger of pursuing answers outside of God. And its warning still echoes today. Israel was in chaos. King Saul, once bold, once chosen, now stood trapped in fear. The Philistine army was advancing, and dread filled his heart. Though he wore a crown, his confidence had vanished. In quieter days, Saul remembered when God spoke clearly, when prophets delivered direction, when the Spirit of the Lord guided his steps. But those days had faded into memory. Samuel was dead. All Israel had mourned for him and buried him at Ramah in his own city. 1 Samuel 28:3. During Samuel's lifetime, Saul had expelled mediums and spiritists from the land. Witchcraft had been outlawed. But now God was silent. No dreams, no visions, no prophetic word. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. 1 Samuel 28:6. Saul knew the truth. God had rejected him. Hope slipped through his fingers. Fear tightened its grip. And as the Philistine threat grew stronger, Saul's resolve weakened. In his desperation, Saul crossed a line he himself had drawn. Alone with his thoughts, Saul paced. The silence of heaven was unbearable. Then a thought crept into his mind, dark and dangerous. There were whispers, rumors of people who claimed to speak with the dead. If God would not answer him, perhaps another power would. So Saul commanded his servants, "Find me a woman who has a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her." They answered, "There is a woman at Endor who has a familiar spirit." 1 Samuel 28:7. Saul knew this was forbidden ground. The law was unmistakable. There shall not be found among you anyone who practices divination or sorcery or interprets omens or engages in witchcraft. For all who do these things are an abomination to the Lord. Deuteronomy 18:10-12. Yet fear outweighed obedience. The kingdom that once stood united was now fractured by disobedience. That night, Saul disguised himself and traveled with 2 men to Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and they came to the woman by night. 1 Samuel 28:8. The witch opened her door cautiously, suspicion etched across her face. Saul spoke urgently, "Divine for me by a familiar spirit, and bring up for me whom I shall name." She recoiled. "You know what Saul has done. He has cut off the mediums and spiritists from the land. Why are you trying to trap me?" Desperate, Saul swore an oath, using the very name of the Lord. "As the Lord lives, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing." 1 Samuel 28:10. The irony was heavy. Saul invoked God's name while defying God's command. Reluctantly, the woman agreed. As she began her rituals, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew cold. Darkness pressed in. Saul's heart pounded. "Whom shall I bring up for you?" she asked. "Bring me up Samuel."
Bring me up Samuel.
1 Samuel 28:11. Suddenly, the woman screamed, "What have you done? You are Saul." "I see a spirit coming up out of the earth," she cried, "an old man wrapped in a robe." Saul knew it was Samuel. 1 Samuel 28:12-14. The prophet stood before him, stern and unyielding. "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?" Samuel demanded. Saul confessed, "I am in great distress. The Philistines are fighting against me, and God has departed from me. Therefore I have called you." Samuel's response was final. "Why do you consult me, seeing the Lord has departed from you and become your enemy?" Then came the judgment. "The Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hand and given it to David. Tomorrow you and your sons will be with me." 1 Samuel 28:17-19. Saul collapsed in terror. Strength left his body. Fear overwhelmed him. The woman urged him to eat. After much pleading, Saul agreed. His final meal was prepared by the very one he once outlawed. That same night, he left. 1 Samuel 28:21-25. Dawn arrived heavy with doom. The prophecy rang in Saul's ears as Israel prepared for battle. Saul stood among his soldiers, not as a confident king, but as a condemned man. The Philistines overwhelmed Israel. Saul's sons were slain. Saul himself was gravely wounded. 1 Samuel 31:1-3. Unwilling to be captured, Saul fell on his own sword. His armor-bearer followed. So Saul died, and his 3 sons died together that same day. 1 Samuel 31:4-6. The Bible tells us nothing more of the witch of Endor. Her role ends there, silent, haunted, unresolved. But her appearance marks the final collapse of Saul's spiritual life. This story warns us of the danger of desperation without repentance. God's silence is not an invitation to seek forbidden voices. It is a call to humility and return. The witch herself was startled when Samuel appeared, revealing that true power belongs to God alone. Today, many still seek guidance from astrology, divination, and spiritual shortcuts, ignoring the consequences. The story of the Witch of Endor reminds us, when we abandon God's voice, other voices will answer, but at a terrible cost. Kindly let us know in the comments section how this story has inspired you, and what other Bible stories would you like to see animated. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.